All right, guys, let's talk about the 9 versus 10 matchup in the Eastern Conference. We got the Toronto Raptors at home taking on the Chicago Bulls. Toronto currently a 5-point home favorite. I had them favored by 5.5 in this game. A knockout game, guys. We know the 9 versus 10 is a knockout game. Whoever loses goes home, goes to the off season. Their season will be over. The winner of this game will go to the second round of the play-in tournament, play the loser of the 7 versus 8 game, which is Miami versus Atlanta. In this ball game, guys, Toronto 5-point home favorite. Of course, they're the favorite home team, where they have been pretty good at home this season, 27-14 in an overall mediocre, subpar season. I'd say 41-41 overall record for the Raptors is definitely underachieving for a team that has a lot of very good players on their roster. They have some players from their championship team a few years back. Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet. They have a nice young player in Scotty Barnes, very talented, and a lot of players on the rest of their roster. Anunoby, they got Gary Trent Jr. off the bench. Very quality ball players, guys. I think this 500 record for them is definitely disappointing. And if you guys can recall, during the trade deadline, a few weeks leading up to the trade deadline, there were a lot of rumors about the general manager breaking this team up, sending a lot of the players away, going into rebuilding mode, but decided to give the team one last chance. Ended up adding Jakob Poeltl, the big man from the Spurs, a player that was with the Raptors earlier in his career. But ever since then, guys, ever since the trade deadline, looks like little to nothing has changed on the ball club. The inconsistency that we got used to seeing them playing with at the beginning of the season carried on from the All-Star break up until the final game of the regular season. To make things worse for the Raptors, guys, there are a lot of rumors floating around about Nick Nurse, their head coach. Doesn't look like he's going to be with the team at the end of this season, which kind of gives you an indication of what's going on the team. We are getting a little bit of sense of the pulse in the organization. That doesn't look like everyone is fully committed, and they know, guys, that they shouldn't be in this position in an elimination game in the play-in tournament. Definitely disappointing. I don't know how committed everyone is on this team, which does make this game all the more dangerous for them, guys, since it is a knockout game. One bad day and your season is over, which could add a little more pressure to the Raptors, since they are the home team in this case. The Bulls, guys, much of the same for them. Finished 10th, 40-42, two games below 500. Definitely, guys, they don't have the quality on their roster, same quality as the Raptors. But the Bulls, even though they have been very inconsistent all season, they have shown glimpses of some very, very good play. They've beaten some of the best teams in the league in some games that you would least expect it. They are capable of doing damage. The only thing wrong with them is they can't carry on a high quality of play for long periods of time. The reason for their poor record. In this game, guys, a knockout game. Anything could happen. If the Bulls show up and the Raptors have a bad game, anything can happen here. In this ball game, guys, I'm actually looking to take a play here with Chicago and the +5. And for some reason, guys, I can kind of hear those dogs barking. Chicago, the live dog in this play. I'm also going to be sprinkling some on that money line. I think we can have a really, really nice shot at a dog coming through in this matchup. Chicago +5 in the money line is my play in this game.